So, Northern Alberta wildfire ranked at highest danger level, conditions expected to worsen. Town of High Level, Alberta has been successfully evacuated, Alberta Premier says. An out-of-control wildfire burning Tuesday near a town in northeastern Alberta is rated the highest possible danger level, and the dry, windy weather means the danger is expected to increase this week, says Alberta Premier Jason Kenney. The fire is jumping from crowd to trees, Kenney said at the news conference Tuesday. Unfortunately, the dry conditions in northern Alberta are expected to continue for the foreseeable future, with the fire danger possibly increasing this week. The fire near the town of High Level is ranked as the level 6, the top of the wildfire intensity scale. Increased fire damage is common during the spring because of the abundance of dry, flammable materials and the period between the snowmelt and the green up of the landscape. Wildfire season is a long and tough battle every year, and we need to provide the long haul this summer, Kenney said. The Premier says he hopes to visit the scene on Tuesday. The number of fires currently burning across the province is slightly higher than the 5-year average, Kenney said. There have been 450 wildfires in Alberta since March 1st, which 30 are still active and 5 are classed out of control. Evacuation has been ordered for more than 4,000 people living in High Level, a town about 7,030 kilometers north of Edmonton, as well as about 750 people living in nearby Brushy River Reserve at the Dean First Nation. The high-level wildfires is being fought from the air because it is not safe to have people on the ground attacking the fire, Bruce Mayer, Assistant Deputy Minister for Alberta Agriculture and Forestry, said the Tuesday's news conference. We will not put any people in front of the head. It is simply too dangerous, Meyer said. There are 89 firefighters, 24 helicopters, and 3 tankers involved in fighting the blaze, he said. Alberta crews will get logistical and personal support from Ontario, Nova Scotia, and British Columbia. These crews are expected to arrive on Wednesday. Fire officials say the wind forecast to be out of the southeast for the next several days is working in town's favor by pushing the fire away from homes and other buildings. The fire is actually burning on the southwest side of High Level, headed northwest, said Mayer. The forecast for the next few days is the strong gusty winds will be from the southeast to the northeast, which are all favorable from high-level perspective. Evacuation stressful. The fire reached within 5 kilometers of High Level, but Kenney said no homes have been damaged and there are no injuries as a result of fire. The area remains without power and cellular service has to be interrupted. ATCO is also working to restore power, Kenney said. High-level Mayor Crystal McCater made the right call to get directions out early based on the unpredictability of the wind, Kenney said. Cater confirmed Tuesday morning that the town residents have been departed. There are still people in the town, however, including those involved in fighting the fire. Alberta Health Services staff and some local businesses, such as grocery stores, who are supporting fire crews. Because the power supply has been compromised, McCater said people could be away from their homes for as long as 5 days. On Monday night, Kenny posted a video on his Facebook page saying that if evacuees are still placed on their homes after 72 hours, the province will step in with additional support. The province is also on the eye for two businesses near High Level, the Toko sawmill and the Norbed OSB plant, which has been suspended operations due to the fire. More than 650 people have registered at an emergency reception center set up at Slave Lake, almost 500 kilometers in the northeast. About 500 people have informed the province they have sought shelter in La Create, Alberta, a hamlet about 135 kilometers southeast of High Level. People living in the area are urged to use Highway 58 east of the community, since highways south and west have already been closed during the blaze. Evacuation order for High Level, Alberta, as wildfire approaches wildfires in northern Alberta, a visible sign of annual spring dip. The Premier, also with Agriculture and Forestry Minister Devin Durishan and Multiple Affairs Minister Casey Mandu, met Tuesday with crews who have been working around the clock at Provincial Operations Center. The fairly typical, of course, to have a number of wildfires after the snow, the winter runoff is gone, and before there is much precipitation, Kenny said in the Facebook video. There are no forecasts for precipitation, so the risk remains fairly high. He thanked residents for responding to the appropriate way to need to leave town. Not much time to pack. Chelsea Canazoy and her 3 young children left High Level on Monday afternoon, and saying that Dene Wellness Center at the Clathadetchi First Nation Reserve outside Hay River, Northwest Territories. Once the evacuation order was issued, Kazanoy said she did not have much time to gather her things, grabbed a few clothes and identification. I left everything, Kanazoy said on Tuesday. I didn't have much time to pack. I was pretty hectic in High Level. The evacuation center in Slave Lake accommodate up to 12,000 people. The Legacy Center will be open 24 hours a day. Town employees said during Tuesday they have enough volunteers to fully staff the facility, and if additional help is needed, a call will be put out on social media. In addition to the reception center in Slave Lake, another has been set up in High Prairie. Officials have been arranged transporting for residents who can get out of their own. Alberta Health Services said it has evacuated 20 patients from Northeast Health Center on High Level and relocated them to other communities. The Chuckegg Creek Fire south of high level has been burning for several days, but grew substantially starting Sunday when it covered about 2,500 hectares and reached an estimated 6,900 hectares on Monday. The evacuation of the town was first ordered at 4 p.m. on Monday. The order from the Bunchie River Reserve southeast of the town was issued at 8 p.m. McCater said residents remember resident wildfires that devastated Fort McMurray and Slave Lake. People are, of course, afraid because they remember the wildfires at Fort McMurray, but we talked to a lot of the residents and reaffirmed that we are being protective, she said. A 2016 wildfire on Fort McMurray destroyed 1/10 of the city, and some 8,800 people were forced from their homes. Slave Lake was evacuated because of a wildfire in 2011 that destroyed parts of the community. The Alberta government issued a fire ban and restricted off-highway vehicle use for numerous parts of the province last week due to forecasts that call for little precipitation and strong winds.